They'll be ready to go in 45 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a best-of-5 sets match. Mr. Laver won the toss, is serving first. Linesman ready?
Rod Laver has the balls. He won the toss. He's going to serve first, and here he goes for the championship of the United States. Tony Roach, the receiver. 2 Australians.
Double fault.
Double fault.
Love 15.
Bad start. And Love 30 right away.
Love 30. Out.
Apparently the ball boy behind the court is
15-30.
moving when Rod was serving. Tony wants him to be quiet.
Ball. Double fault.
2 double faults.
15-40.
For Rod Laver.
Just remember, Bud, Laver's been used to serving into the backhand, his natural serve, and he can't do that with Roach because he hits the big forehand.
30-40.
For the first time, the left-handers get to know how awful it is to play another left-hander.
Aced him. Now Roach yells at a photographer, sit down. Gentleman does immediately.
Ball.
Tony's a little edgy. Haven't seen him react with nerves before, but this is the biggest thing in his life.
Out. Advantage, Mr. Roach.
So another break point, an opening game ordeal for Rod Laver. Third breaker against him.
Ball.
Court is open, and Laver finds it.
Deuce. Advantage, Mr. Laver.
Tony Roach. And the winning volley.
Laver wins the first
From
game.
15-40, Laver has won the first game.
Rod Laver was a little nervous, it seemed to me, in that first game, Bud. 2 double faults and an easy volley error. One must remember that 31 years of age and have been a competing tennis player, I guess, from the age of 9. He faces the biggest hopeful win of his life.
Tony Roach serving for the first time and losing his first service
Love
point.
15.
Tried a topspin lob, and it goes all the way to the stadium wall. Gus Lana, the base linesman, dutifully calls out.
15.
Easiest call he'll have all day.
Let's remind everyone that there's been more rain here at Forest Hills, and the court's very choppy.
Laver's got it.
Net here.
Touched the
Laver
net.
touched the net
with his
before the
racket.
point was decided. Mr. Roach wins the point. 30-15.
The ball was out as well, but that's the rules. You can't touch the net until the ball has bounced at least twice.
40-15. Ball. .30.
Of course, that's the reason why Rod Laver is such an exceptional champion as a left-hander. He's been the first one, really, with power to be able to control a backhand stroke.
Ball.
Arthur Larson, awfully good backhand.
Down the line.
Deuce.
The receiver, very stubborn in these first two games, both deuce games.
Ball. Out. Advantage, Mr. Roach.
He got it.
Game, Mr. Roach.
1-all.
Games are 1-all, first set.
That's a great start. Both boys in a little bit of difficulty, but coming out of it, so they should be relaxed and ready to play their best.
Ball.
Passed.
Love 15.
And again, the forehand.
Love 30.
I guess Rod's going to try to stay away from that Roach forehand. Those are two blistering shots.
Ball. .30.
These fellas have almost the same exact game, Bud. They're steady, a little more steady off the backhand, more dynamic off the forehand, equally good at the net.
30 all.
.40-30.
40-30. Out. Game, Mr. Laver.
2-1 for Rod Laver. He comes out of another Love 30 game. All right.
Mr. Laver leads 2-1, first set.
Roach will serve. 1-2. They've just begun.
Out. 15 love.
Forehand.
15 all.
Well,
No bounce.
perplexed Rod Laver.
30-15.
Roach put a lot of underslice on that backhand down the line, but the ball just rolled. It's a very tough court.
.40-15. Ball. Double fault.
First double fault for
40-15.
Tony.
Correction, 40-30.
Goes that backhand. There's so much topspin.
Deuce.
Marvelous position Rod gets on that ball. He gets the weight in the right foot, steps through with it, and great follow through.
Fault.
If you give him time, he's going to make that 9 out of 10 times.
Out.
And here we have a big one for the first time for Roach.
Advantage, Mr. Laver.
Rod Laver suffered through a couple of bad outs. Now this is the first chance that Rod will have to break serve.
Forehand down the line, and he
Game
got it.
played.
And as so often happens, Laver pulls himself together in the crisis.
Laver leads 3 games
And
to
given
1.
just one
First set.
opportunity by his foe, he takes it. So he's up a break now, 3-1.
$15 love. Fault. $15 all.
Left-handers handle the overheads more like badminton players. They give that reverse twist, and Rod very seldom misses one from that position.
Two balls he doesn't like at all.
15-30.
Should have had both of them. And he's down again on his serve, as he has been every time he's served. $30 all.
30 all.
Roach looked over to a ball boy who was moving. Now he stopped.
Ball. $30-40.
You can see from that particular camera angle how good these boys are, even though it's a damp court. What sure-footed players they are. They're moving both great.
Break point for Roach.
Ball.
The backhand volley. Right inside the line.
Deuce.
Laver escapes from a break point for the 4th time.
Advantage, Mr. Laver.
Boy, Rod Laver's really had his homework worked out, because he knows exactly where Roach is hitting the ball. He hasn't moved the wrong direction once. Of course, these fellows watch each other, and they get to know the percentages of which direction the boys are going to hit.
Will fall.
3 double faults for Laver.
Deuce. Fall. Advantage, Mr. Laver.
Knocking the mud off the bottom of his shoes. Very mucky around the baseline.
Out. Game, Mr. Laver.
4-1 for Laver.
New balls, please. Mr. Laver leads 4 games to 1, first set.
Tony Roach looks up at someone in the gallery. Shows the new balls to his opponent, Rod Laver.
15, love. $30, love. Ball.
And you'll see Tony digging the court with his trailing foot.
$30-15. Ball. Out. 40-15.
Net.
Ball. Out. Game, Mr. Roach.
4-2 for Laver.
Mr. Laver leads 4-2, first set. Ball.
Net.
Let, second service.
That's the call from net court judge John Coleman. There's that forehand again.
Love 15.
Laver behind once again on serve. Roach down.
$15 all.
And now Laver down.
Well, at least the court's being fair. They've both
15,
taken a
30.
tumble on consecutive points. That was interesting because Rod has been coming the net very nicely and handling the wet stuff terrific. A couple of spills like that in mid-court, he could lose his confidence as to the footing.
Double fault.
Here's double fault. 4 for Laver.
15-40.
But this is the fourth game on serve. The Rod Laver's been close to losing it, but he's been tremendous in pulling out the service game. Let's see, he had 4 ad points against him.
4 break points, right. Well, he saves another. Still a break point.
30-40.
Net.
Let, first service.
Not this time. Four, 3. Laver.
Laver leads 4-3, first set.
Slow motion videotape, we're going to see how treacherous this court is as Tony Roach takes a good forehand from Rod Laver, and Rod's in good position up at the net. Puts it into the backhand corner to move Tony over to this side. There goes the cross court, and now as a good volley down the line, you can see Roach goes, and there is where the left foot out in front of him slid, and like an acrobat, he ended up on his tummy. The racket, fortunately, being tossed aside. Nope.
3-4. Tony Roach has just broken Rod Laver.
Love 15.
The backhand.
Love 30.
Net.
Fault.
Gee. Laver got it back somehow, but
15-30.
Good acknowledgement as to the court and the dampness and how low that ball will bounce. Roach, 99 times out of 100, would have taken and driven that ball to a corner, but he elected to play the soft one. Bad bounce. Very bad
30
bounce.
all.
And this is where attitude, the fellow who's not going to let conditions get him down, is going to count today. They're going to get a lot of spills and a lot of bad bounces.
Not up. 30-40.
I know Don Budge had a great backhand. Frank Kovacs, Parker Rosewall, but if there's anything better than Laver's backhand, Bud, I don't know. It's a nair on that one.
Deuce.
The great thing about it is its deception and fantastic speed, and he gets so much overspin he can produce the big angle.
went back on him when everybody in the ballpark, including Roach, expected him to go down the line. And he can hit that slice
Advantage,
backhand
Mr. Laver.
cross court so nicely. Second break point. And another backhand.
Game, Mr. Laver.
All the way along the court, into the corner. And Laver will now be serving for the set.
The Laver leads
5-3.
5-3, first set.
Bud, you mentioned the slice, and I'd been talking overspin. Rod uses the slice when he knows he just wants to keep the ball in play. He knew he had Roach beaten. He didn't want to miss.
Fault.
Took a much shorter stroke.
Wide.
Love 15.
Now Roach shows Laver. Top spinning
Love
backhand.
30.
Particularly that good fadeaway type slice return. That opened up the court, Bud. Beautiful shot by Roach.
Fault.
Very slow call by one of the finest of the linesmen, Frank Hammern. He won the McGovern Award yesterday, Bud, for the best umpire of the year, I understand.
That's right.
Fifteen 30. Fault. Thirty all.
Rather disheartening for Tony Roach because that was truly a great lob. That would have bounced very close to both lines, and so a super smash by Laver gets him even.
Fault.
Goes out.
30-40.
Rod Laver, who has been behind every game he's served in this set, is now down a break point. He saved 5 of them before succumbing. And he saves another.
Deuce.
That's wide.
Advantage, Mr. Roach.
Rod's having trouble with that backhand volley only because he knows if he doesn't put a good deep one into the forehand of Roach, he might get past. So the pressure's making him make a few errors.
Net.
Let first service.
Roach has the court, and now
Mr. Roach.
he goes behind Laver and makes the break. Rod Laver got as close as 2 points from that set. Roach wouldn't let him have it. 4-5, Roach serving.
Well, Bud, they've played 9 games, taken them approximately
Laver
30
leads
minutes.
5 games to 4.
And I find that both players are about even in all the major respects. They're serving extremely well, but on the other hand, they're both returning well. Been 4 service breaks, mainly produced by really fine backhands by both players. We expect that from Rod Laver because he does have the better of the 2 backhands. But Roach has been surprisingly good, very accurate on the cross-court return. We're seeing Rod Laver, I believe, going to go to some spike shoes. He apparently had a deal with Mike Gibson. I don't mean to say that in a wrong way, but he had an arrangement whereby if the court was playing a little slippery, he asked for permission to use spike shoes. And at the end of that game, as he moved sharply twice to the left and once to the right, losing his balance, he looked over to the marquee where Mike Gibson, who's been imported from Great Britain to be the official referee for the championships, Mike gave him the nod, and so we're going to see Rod Laver go in some white spike shoes, very soft in leather, and they will give him a little better footing. They're made in Australia, and he's been saving them for just such an occasion. Tony Roach picking up the idea of the court being slippery and Laver getting permission to use spikes. Roach apparently doesn't carry spike shoes with him, but the method in which he runs along the court indicates that he doesn't need them. On a far slipperier court the other day in a quarterfinal match against Butch Buchholz, he was just having the time of his life out there, sort of like a mutter when he gets the right kind of a track, and apparently he feels that he's going to be all right in the regular canvas tennis shoe.
Rod Laver kicked at the court there to test his spikes. Short spikes, 3/8 of an inch.
15 love.
6 spikes on the sole and 2 in the heel.
Ball.
I think the ones in Australia actually have 3 in the heel. They're a little different than our jumping shoe, Bud.
Pick up the racket, Tony. It doesn't matter.
Love.
Sure hands. That Roach had been a great receiver, or maybe even a juggler. Imagine getting that racket back in action after dropping it.
Ball. Love.
stop volley.
Game, Mr. Roach.
So the match is even, 5-all.
Games are 5-all, first set.
But a big thing here now that Laver's got the spikes on. Can he serve with them? Because he's a toe dragger, and he's going to have to lift that foot instead of dragging it.
Ball.
And sometimes this bit of change in the equipment does cause a server to lose his rhythm.
Love 15.
Believe me, this is important because in 1958, Alex Olmedo won the Davis Cup for the United States. And it was really as much the problem was that Anderson and Cooper, the Australians, couldn't serve with spikes, and Alex could.
Now Love 30, and Laver maintains the
Love
tradition
30.
of this match for him, going right down behind on his serve. Love 40.
Love 40.
Well, he's come out of a couple of Love 30s. He's come out of 1540s. But here's Love 40. 3 break points waiting for Tony Roach.
Out.
Now 2.
15-40.
Tony Roach will be serving for the set.
Roach leads 6-5, first set.
So Rod Laver had his shot at the first set at 5-3. Roach wouldn't permit it. Now Tony Roach has his at 6-5.
Net.
Fault.
Starts with a double fault. Call from Herb
Love
Lewis
15.
on the line. Second double fault for Roach. A few of the disapproving whistles from around the stadium. Roach was ready that time for the cross-court backhand.
15 all.
Beautiful volley by Laver. He had to intercept that ball.
15-30.
Would have landed in the corner, and he did it. Got the winner now, 15-30. 30 all.
30 all.
You saw the value of the track shoes or the spikes we've been talking about with Laver because he was going the other direction. He stopped like on a dime and turned around.
He hacked at it and made the shot.
Off the wood, very high in the racket. The ball went over the net with a lot of nothing on it, Bud. It didn't have top spin. It was just hit.
30-40.
Hit so high on the racket it had no pace, and it turned into a lob placement. Point for the break.
Laver says sometimes you've got to hack at the ball and just club it over anyway. That time he did. And it was one of the biggest points of this match. Down the line, and he's broken him back.
2 balls, please.
6 all, and Tony Roach came as close as 2 points from the set.
Games are 6 all, first set.
The trouble with breaking Laver is you arouse him. And he dips it over.
15 love. 30, Love.
Call is what? They're looking at Frank Hammond. What
40,
was the call?
Love.
The call was, it was good. 40 Love. A few more of the Forest Hills sparrows chirping. But Frank Hammond has the best seat in the house. He's right on that line. Now that won't come back, and Laver will have 7-6.
Game to Laver. Mr. Laver leads 7 games to 6, first set.
Tony Roach now is serving the possible set game. 2 games ago, he was serving for the set. Now he must continue to hold serve to stay in the set.
Net.
Let, first service.
Roach serving to Rod Laver for the U.S. Open Championship.
Ball.
Down the line.
Love 15. Ball.
That was a bad call. And Frank very seldom makes one, but Rod, as you can see, looking over.
Frank like a ship's figurehead hanging out over the court. Well, Tony,
Love 30.
I don't know what you do about that shot.
Well, Tony's upset now with Frank because he felt that a couple of games ago, Frank didn't call one on Laver's serve, and now he called one against him.
Ball.
It's tough on a player. If they feel a linesman is making a mistake, they lose confidence in that man.
$15-30.
But it sure won't happen here today. But do you know that if a fella does make a couple of bad calls, the player has the prerogative of asking the linesman to be removed. I'm certain this won't happen.
30 all.
Out. 30 all. $40-30.
Game 7 all.
Games are 7 all, first set.
And Roach came out from Love 30.
Net.
Double fault.
5 double faults for
Love
Laver.
15.
So he's behind on serve again. I knew that last game he served was atypical. Down Love 30.
Out. Love 30. $15-30.
The philosophy on the volley of Laver is a little different than Roach's. He goes for a winner practically on any ball that's up anywheres. Oh, beauty.
There's that forehand again that Roach has been so
40.
vicious with. 2 more break points for Tony Roach. He's had a ton of them in this set. Topspin
Gonna
lob.
be good.
Right on.
Great get by Rod.
Game, Mr. Roach.
Rod Laver. Way down
Roach
again,
leads
and Roach will
8
be
games to
serving
7, first
for the set at 8-7. Roach serving far court to Rod Laver.
Out.
Missed it.
15, love.
Sky turning purple. Does not look good here. That's out. 30 love.
30, love.
Tony Roach now closing in on this first set. .40 love.
40, love.
Both men have had their chances, but this is the biggest for Roach. Well, Laver saves one. A set point.
40, 15.
Rod Laver made it evaporate with a forehand. Still set point.
Net.
Fault.
And there's the set.
First set to
For
Mr.
Tony
Roach.
Roach at 9-7. He leads.
Roach wins the first set, 9 games to 7, and leads in the match 1 set to none.
Ready to go. Second set. Laver serving.
Fault.
47 minutes, I should say, Bud, of tremendous tennis. Both boys playing great. Roach just a little bit of the edge.
Out. 15, love.
Oh. From behind the court. Roach hit that beautiful backhand.
15, all. $30, 15.
And the forehand, time and time again, Jack.
Well,
30, all.
Tony's returning the backhand extra well and putting Rod in difficulty to make a good volley, but that forehand is devastating, so Rod really has a problem of which way to serve to get the result. Maybe right at him.
Fault.
Backhand. Roach has hit 3 winners in this game.
30, 40.
Laver cannot serve with comfort. He's only had 1 game, and he's won easily in the entire match.
Deuce.
We're so used to Roach returning and returning well that when you see him make an error, you're sort of stunned. He really has his game at high level.
Advantage, Mr. Laver.
Rodney just laboring a little bit on his serve, and I'm certain it's because he's not used to using these spike shoes. He's not as comfortable. He can't drag that back foot.
Out.
Missed
Game
it. There's the
clear.
first game of the second set to Laver.
Laver wins the first game of the second set.
Tony Roach is the server, near court to Rod Laver.
Love. All. Out.
Wide.
30-15.
Well, he misses
Out.
one. And that's unusual for Tony.
30 all.
Been playing so strongly. Had the easy volley.
It's going to be a beauty.
Oh, good. Woo.
40,
Everything was going on that shot. He decided he'd let it rip. And it got in there, past Laver.
Let. First service.
Net.
Let. First service. Deuce. Ball. Double fault.
Double fault. Third for Tony.
Advantage, Mr. Laver.
Break point.
Out. Game, Mr. Laver.
Laver had Roach lunging, and he couldn't come up with the last one. 2-0 for Laver.
The Laver leads 2-0, second set.
Good play by Rod Laver, who's stepping up his hitting. That's what we've noticed through the years, that Laver is one champion that when he gets behind and he's been hitting hard, he simply starts hitting harder until they start going in. Most people will try control to try to get back into a match, but Rod goes the other way. He's all power.
15, love. Love. Love.
ahead 3 games to none.
Good
He
ball,
must
Steve.
have thought that sort of game had disappeared from his system.
Laver
An easy
leads
one, but
3
he wins
games
it
to love.
at love.
Second set.
Tony Roach, far court. He's the server. That's sliced. Finally
Love 15.
hit backhand.
All.
Net.
Ball.
Well, hustle paid off for Laver. He ran down that ball, put up the lob.
15-30.
The interesting thing is that lob was right into the forehand side, or the correct smashing side for Tony Roach. They hit the ball better when it's back over their shoulder. Rod's the same way. Good.
On the line.
15-40.
Here's one Rod Laver really wants. He can get up 2 breaks right here. And he does.
Game to Laver. The Laver leads 4 games to love. Second set.
Rod Laver now 4 games to none. It's the longest streak for anyone in this match.
15 love. $30 love.
Ace, second one.
$40 love.
Another
Game to
ace.
Laver.
5 straight games for Laver.
Mr. Laver leads 5 games to love. Second set.
The umbrellas have come out now at Forest Hills. A light rain has begun. It rained a good part of the morning today.
Very important for Tony Roach because he's using rubber tennis sneakers. His opponent, Laver, who's waiting return serve using spikes. A wet court will really hurt Tony Roach.
15 love.
Laver, kangaroo on his breast.
Ball. Double fault.
Double fault.
Tony Roach really
15
protesting against the decisions here. And he's approaching Mike Dunn with the idea of perhaps, I don't know whether he'd do it, but perhaps suggesting at least to replace one of the very, very best service line callers that we've ever had in the game. A
30-15.
thing like this is all mental, but Tony's convinced that this particular linesman can't see, so it's going to bother him.
Out. 40-15.
$40-30.
40-30.
The only important thing about this game is that Roach would like to really hold it so that he might start serving the third set.
Laver has the same idea.
Right, he'd love to win it. Keep the win streak going. He's won 5 games in a row. Tony Roach has won 2 big sets in this tournament, 6-love.
Advantage, Mr. Roach.
Matter of fact, Roach is an outstanding 4th set player. He proved that yesterday against John Newcomb when he's down 2 sets to 1.
So Tony has come up with a stopper, but he's still way behind, and Rod Laver will be serving for the second
Laver
set.
leads 5 games to 1, second set.
Rod Laver.
Love.
Tony looked puzzled on that. He swung at the ball and nothing much happened.
Well, the ball didn't come through. It was hit hard, and it hit something there on the court and just stopped, hung up in midair. Sort of laughed at Tony.
Ball. Love.
Laver's serving better, and Tony's not returning as well.
No, Tony's let down. It's understandable. He doesn't feel he can win the set, so it's not going to break his heart. He'd still have to break another serve, but if he won this one, and he feels it'd be better to break one early in the 3rd set.
Love.
Well, here's the point to get even. Laver has won 13 straight points on serve. And this match is even.
Second set, Laver.
As Rod Laver,
Laver wins 6 games to 1.
going for the Grand Slam,
Sets are 1
feels a
all.
lot better now. Having lost the first set, he's even. Set apiece.
Well, that's a new ball game, Bud. 1 set apiece. As Tony Roach returns to the north side of the court, far side of our screen, to serve to Rod Laver. Fast set for Rod Laver, only 20 minutes as we start the 3rd set of this best-of-5 set match.
Out. 15 love.
Now, Tony Roach, the only man in tennis with an edge on Rod Laver. 6-3. He's ahead as professionals. They played once as amateurs. That's 7 years ago, and Laver won that.
As you can see from the umbrellas, also Mike Gibson, the official referee, is coming fairly close to the playing surface. There might be a decision to suspend play here.
Roach.
That's Mike
There's
Gibson,
Mike.
from Great Britain, the man who controls the event at Wimbledon, also the Open in South Africa, and who has turned in a great job here at Forest Hills.
Good thing he's got a mustache to make that
Off
upper
they
lip
go.
stay
That's
stiff,
the sign. Off they
because
go.
He's had
Play
so
is
much
temporarily
trouble, and he
suspended.
says, let's go inside and wait for a while. So play is suspended.
Balls, boys, please.
In the first
Yeah.
game, after the first game of the 3rd set, and it's a set apiece.
Balls, boys.
Roach has won the first game, 3rd set. Far end of the court, Rod Laver
Play.
serving to Tony Roach now. They've been off for 30 minutes with that rain delay. It's love 1
Out.
in the 3rd set. The match is even.
15 love.
Roach held serve to open the 3rd set. Then the rain came down, second rain of the afternoon, the first time it's interrupted the match. They went off for 30 minutes. Laver Good volley.
30, love. Fault.
Well, Laver had won 16
30,
straight points on
15.
his serve.
Fault.
Thirty all.
30, all.
The rain delay doesn't seem to have affected Roach's return. Still good, sharp, coming in very low. 2 half volleys that Rod Laver's had trouble with. Big game for both boys.
40, 30.
Very close call. First game after delay is always a really difficult thing for both players. More for the server.
Net.
Fault.
Deuce.
And that was a let ball off the forehand.
Deuce.
Tony Roach playing him very close to that net.
Net.
Let. First service.
That's the difference. On the serve, you play it over. On the return, it's good.
Fault. Advantage, Mr. Laver.
Deuce again.
Deuce.
Both boys have had their share of luck as Tony Roach hits that one a little high in the racket, sharply angled, but the ball always falls dead. Laver repairing his side of the court.
Advantage, Mr. Laver. Game, Mr. Laver.
1-all. Second set. Third set. Excuse me.
Games are 1-all, third set.
Tony Roach.
15, love.
Missed.
Out.
Just drifted out.
15, all. Fifteen, 30.
One of the few that Roach has put into the forehand of Laver, and he pays the price. Good return.
$30 all.
Great get. I don't know whether it's going to stay in. Yep. Oh my gosh, what a
Laver
shot.
made it.
Great overhead.
30, 40.
So he has the break point against Roach. Deuce.
Deuce.
Out.
Advantage, Mr. Laver.
Just waiting for the ball boy to be called over. There you see his feet.
Good serve by Roach down the middle. Deuce again.
Deuce.
Get it up, says Laver
Advantage, Mr. Roach.
to himself.
He did.
Boy.
Deuce.
Again, deuce. Third time.
Fault.
It's deep. More whistles. Frank Hammond's catching a lot of them today. That was clearly long.
Advantage, Mr. Laver.
And a break point. The area around the baseline now is becoming a ravine. As players dig in.
Actually, those are the spikes of Rod Laver as he's going back and forth. The court's a little more wet, and Rodney's asking for somebody to be a little quiet. Missed.
It's out.
Game, Mr. Laver.
Jack Starr makes the call on the baseline. Roach misses the overhead and is broken. And Laver leads 2-1, third
Laver
set.
leads 2-1, third set. New balls, please.
We're going to see one of the really fine overheads that we've seen in the tournament. As here comes Tony Roach into the net behind his serve. Rod Laver's backhand goes at a good angle. And here's a fine reach by Tony, but there's Rodney waiting for a soft one, and he hits it beautifully over in the corner. Doesn't look like Roach can possibly get it, but just at the last instant, he throws it up. Now let's watch the position as Rod goes back. Most people would drop this. He elects to hit it in the air. You can imagine where it was going to land, right on the line, and he drills it to the opposite side, landing once again on the line for the winning shot.
Rod Laver may feel the momentum moving towards him. It seems that way. Roach, after winning the first set 9-7, has not offered as much opposition. Now Laver retying his shoestrings.
As they're asking for a little quiet from the area where the umpires and linesmen handle all their various duties here at Forest Hills. There's Tony Roach, one of the sweetest guys in the world, looking very irate over there. New balls. They're changing 5 and 7 today. Laver serving. Out.
Out.
Should explain
15, love.
5 and 7 means that the first 5 games of play, they change once, and from there on, every 7 games.
Love.
The only difference in equipment between these two fine lefties is the fact that Tony's wearing traditional tennis shoes. Rod Laver, in case you joined us late, has donned some spike shoes. There you see him. Great shot.
Thirty, 15. Out.
Couldn't do it that time. 40-15.
40, 15.
There's no doubt about it, Bud. Laver in his spikes has greater mobility than Tony Roach.
Fault. Out. Game, Mr. Laver.
3-1 for Rod Laver. Roach will serve.
Laver leads 3-1, third set. 15, love.
Net.
Fault.
Sitting up there for him, and he netted it.
15, all.
A lot of underspin on it.
Funny thing, Roach has missed more easy balls than he has the difficult ones. The low, fast ones, he plays them off the shoe tops very nicely, and he's missed about 6 of the supposedly floaters. Must just take his eye off them.
Fifteen, 30.
Of course, this is very dangerous. He's already behind a service break. He can't lose another one. This set perhaps would be gone.
Laver, with his great speed, came up to take position
30,
away from
all.
Roach. Tried to
That's-
volley it on the run, but couldn't make it.
That's an Aussie trademark. The Australians like to hit a good return. If they sense it's going to be low, they follow it in and try to intercept.
Forty, 30.
There's the game for Tony Roach. So Laver still has his edge with a service
Laver
break.
leads
3-2 in the
3
fourth.
games to 2,
Third,
third
excuse
set.
me. Rod Laver, far court, serving to Roach.
Fifteen, love. Thirty, love.
That's out.
40, love. Game with
Laver, 4-2, and he's been winning his serve a lot easier, Jack.
Yeah,
Laver leads 4 games to 2, third set.
except for a couple of good returns there early in the second service game of Rod Laver. Actually, the return of serve from Roach has gone well down before par, I should say. He was returning much better before this break for rain. Great lob.
Love 15.
A lot of people feel that was out, but you could tell the minute Rod hit it, it was going to have the right direction and length.
Fault.
It's just a whistling day out here. A musical gallery.
Out. Love 30.
Tony Roach has been groping ever since he won the first set. He's now down 2-4. He's down love 30. 15-30.
15, 30.
$15.40.
15, 40.
Well, a little of the edge has come off of Roach's game. He had it so high, winning that first one 9-7. He might have let up just a little bit for a 6-1 loss, but now he's just definitely missing.
Fault.
He's concentrating, he's trying, but he just doesn't have the touch right now.
Laver flies in for the volley. He makes the break. And he'll be serving for the third set.
Laver leads 5 games to 2, third set.
Laver Serving now for the third set to give himself 2-1 lead. Starts with the ace. His fourth. His fifth. Seems interested in winning this game.
(30-15).
I didn't know where Tony Roach was going to hit that ball, but Rod Laver sure did.
He did indeed, but it came so quick, so much spin, he volleyed it into the net. Now Tony Roach got a bad hop on the serve, and his lunging return
30-all.
was better than it might have been had he got a good bounce.
Fault.
Laver lets it go. Wisely,
40,
set point.
30. Fault.
There's
Game
the set.
and third set to Mr. Laver.
For Laver, 6-2. So after losing the first set, he's won 12 out of 15 games.
Mr. Laver wins the third set 6-2 and leads in the match 2-1.
And for the first time in the many good five-setters at the U.S. Open 1969, we're not going to have the traditional 10-minute rest. Here they go, Roach serving. And Laver returning, and it's a beauty.
Love 15.
Just wide.
And this is the danger
15-all.
period for Roach, as Laver, when he gets on top of a fella, he's won 2 easy sets. He's in full stride now. He'll be hitting and swinging from the heels, so Tony must play good games right here.
Let second service.
Twice before this year, Roach has won 4-set matches from Laver, but he can't do it now. He'll need 5 if he's going to win. Tony, you better keep running. No, it's out.
30-15.
Net.
Fault.
Down the line, into the corner.
(30-all).
And this is the real danger spot for Roach, because Laver becomes very vicious right now.
(40-30).
Tremendous interception by Roach.
Underspin. Still keeping it going. And wins it.
Out.
That's
Oh, he
out.
missed it. That could be a bad
Good.
one. Roach had an easy forehand volley, played it to Rod, and then missed a fairly easy overhead.
That's what Laver means when he says you got to hack a little too in this game. And he just goes after everything now. Hard to believe how hungry he can be in a spot like this. All over the court. And Laver gets what he's looking for, that break point.
Believe me, Bud Collins,
Advantage, Mr. Laver.
give those spike shoes the credit for that point, because Rod Laver covered a lot of shots that he had tennis shoes on he would not have gotten to.
Good serve.
Deuce.
Net.
Let second service.
By him.
Advantage, Mr. Laver.
Once again, Laver squeezes Roach into that corner. Break point. The forehand, and he's
James
broken.
Laver. Mr. Laver wins the first game of the fourth set.
Laver now ahead 2-1. Roach has had one shot at him along the way before in the semifinals of the Australian Championship, in which Laver won 6-3 in the fifth. Wonderful forehand of Laver.
15 love.
Well, the champ's in full cry now. Everything's going his way, and normally when he gets a fella in this position, it's all over. It might take a little time, but it sure looks like Rod from here.
Roach on that one.
15 all.
Laver coming into this match with a streak of 29 straight match wins. Hasn't been beaten since June.
$30-15.
He's won 4 straight games in this streak. Touch and a point.
40-15.
The way Rod's moving in those spikes, he's shrunk that court up to like it's a ping pong table. He can reach anything.
Half volley.
Out.
That's out. Hit it on the wood.
40-30.
But once again, Rod was right there. He's anticipating everything.
Net.
Let first service. Fault.
That overhead again
James
from a
Laver.
very awkward angle.
New balls, please. Mr. Laver leads 2-0.
5
Fourth
straight
set.
games for Rod Laver.
Now he's playing extremely well. They're changing balls now, and boy, it was about time. This is 7th game, of course, and I imagine it's just as hard for the players to see as perhaps all of us here. There's so much grass and dirt stains on the balls in that last game of the change that it's practically impossible, and I imagine the weight is difficult for the players too. New balls, Roach serving.
Tony Roach hasn't won a game for a long time. He's got to start moving.
15 love.
Got it! Roach's shot rocketed at
15
Laver, but
all.
Laver is the rocket. And he smashed it back.
15-30.
It's really amazing. We've seen this many times, Bud. When the Rocket gets on top of you, boy, he just puts you away.
He wants more, more, more.
Out. 30 all.
30-40 point, a break point, and Roach
30-40.
knows he must not lose this point.
Well, the pressure's getting so difficult that Tony's starting to make errors that he hadn't made early in the match when he was holding Rod. In fact, leading him. Good serve.
Rod motions to a couple of people who were in his line of vision standing behind the court. They're below our booth, so I don't know who they were. They're out of the way now.
Good. Nope.
It's out. Gus Lana says it was a fraction out. Very close.
Advantage, Mr. Roach.
That's of great comfort to Tony Roach.
Game,
And
Mr.
he
Roach.
wins the game, an important one for Roach. 1-2.
Mr. Laver leads 2-1, fourth set.
It's beginning to drip again slightly at Forest Hills. I'm sure it will take a cloudburst, though, to push them off the court this time.
Well, Roach would probably like a rest at this time. The last time it hurt him. This time it might help him.
Can't hurt him now.
Out. 15 love.
As Laver presses on.
Fault.
He missed it. Just wide. Says James Westfall on the line.
Out. 30 love.
But both these fellas really should be commended for the importance of what they're doing on that serve. They're hitting that second one so deep. It's impossible to get in too close on it.
That will go out.
Out. 40 love.
Forty 15.
40-15.
But Laver is not letting Roach into the service games anymore. For a long while, Rod was behind every time he served.
Fault.
Of course, that was when Tony Roach was returning every ball and with good authority. Low angles.
That's out. 40-30.
Out.
Here's a shot for
40,
Roach
30.
right here. But
Game,
Laver
Laver.
allows no more than a look at that 40-30 point. Then he wins the game for
Mr. Laver
3-1.
leads 3-1, fourth set.
Well, Tony's broken 4 serves of Rod's, but they've all been in the first set. He hasn't broken a serve since the 15th game of the match. Rod's compiled 8 service breaks in all.
That will go out.
Out. Love 15.
Rod Laver pushed to 5 sets only once in this tournament by Dennis Ralston.
Love 30.
In the 4 Grand Slam tournaments, he's gone 5 sets a total of 4 times. 5 times, excuse me.
Out. Fifteen 30. fault. 15-40.
Well, you can almost say goodbye to Tony's chances if he loses one of the next 2 points. 2 points for the break.
Fault.
Misses that one. Laver has the forehand. It goes by Tony Roach. And that could be just about the match, as Laver will serve with a 4-1 lead.
Mr. Laver leads
Fourth
4
set.
games to 1, fourth set. He leads in the match 2 sets to 1.
Rod Laver serving.
Net.
Far court.
Fault.
Fault on the first serve. Has a 4-1 lead.
I think it was out.
Got it.
Good.
He got it. He looked like an old woman tracing a prowler with an umbrella on that one, but it shows you that Rod
15
Laver's going to
love.
get everything. Bent over and swung 2 hands.
All.
Net.
Fault.
Well,
15-30.
an infrequent error off the overhead of Laver gives a little bit of hope here for Tony Roach. He hasn't broken a serve in many, many games. He needs to break 2 to level here in the 4th set. Nope.
30 all.
Tony's very discouraged now. Started off so well.
Fault. $40-30. Fault. Out. Game, Mr. Laver.
5-1. Roach
The Laver leads 5 games to 1.
is hanging by his toenails now.
But I'd like to comment, you said about the 62 Grand Slam, which was a great feat, but the 69 Grand Slam is a much greater feat because all the great pros are in here fighting him as well as the top amateurs. Back in 62, Hode, Gonzalez, Trabert, Sedgman, some of those boys weren't playing. They're all in the tournaments now. Great shot.
Backhand rolls past him, and Rod Laver rolls on towards the slam, towards the title,
15.
towards the $16,000 check, which will put him over $100,000 in earnings this year in prize money. That's the highest in prize money ever, Jack.
15 all.
That's right. Today it's all right out there for prize money. In the old days, though, a fellow named Lou Hode, he picked up over $140,000 one year, but he was playing mainly exhibitions.
Taking a piece of the gate.
Right, that's the difference.
30-15.
This is the way it should be. Let the best player take it. Reputations mean nothing. Oh,
40-15.
Tony Roach trying to build some kind of streak if he can. Hold his serve and go at Laver's in match game.
Game, Mr. Roach.
So it will be Rod Laver to serve for everything. 5-2.
Mr. Laver leads 5 games to 2, fourth set.
Here goes Rod Laver trying to close the ring on the slam.
Net.
Call.
He leads 7-9, 6-1, 6-2, 5-2. And he has 1 point, needs 3.
15, love.
Thinking about so many things, trying not to think about his wife in Newport Beach, California, about to have a baby at any moment. That's been on his mind, preying on his mind. Ace.
30, love.
6th ace. And put away. He's on the verge. Not yet.
Just watching
40,
Rod
15.
as he's doing this great thing here, Bud. He doesn't win the matches by people playing badly. He wins it by beating them right into the ground. He makes always many more placements than errors.
Net.
Let. First service.
Been down 2 sets to love a couple of times this year during the slam tournaments. Dick Creeley, Prem Lal, but he came out. He's come out of everything. Roach tried to make the shot. Roach is down in every respect. He is the loser. And Rod Laver has won it. He's the slammer, the grand slammer, and Jack Kramer next to me applauding.
You gotta do it.
We gotta clap for Jack for the grand slam, and it's undoubtedly the finest achievement in the history of this game, which is one of our oldest sports in America. It goes way back to 1881 when Dick Sears went down from Boston to Newport to win the first American championship. It was a very young sport then, very narrow boundaries. Now it's the sport for every country in the world, for the young men of the United States and every other country, and Rod Laver is the king. 7-9, 6-1, 6-2, 6-2.
Rod Laver, I'm absolutely tongue-tied of what to say at this moment. This is your second Grand Slam. You're undoubtedly the best player in the entire world, and you might very well be the best player we've ever seen. I can do no more than congratulate you and wish you many more victories. Rod Laver. Rod Laver would be interested in knowing that he receives the check for $16,000, the first prize. Now I think you'd all like to hear a few words from our new champion, Rod Laver.
Thank you, Mr. Martin, Mr. Coleman, Mr. Williams, and ladies and gentlemen. It certainly is a great pleasure and to be standing here. I'm the one that's tongue-tied, but it's a great thrill to be standing here having won this last championship, and all I can say is that I'm the luckiest fellow here in the stadium, and to everyone that came and put up with the bad conditions through this tournament, thank you very much. But, I don't think Tony was at his best today. He had a very tough match yesterday, and I think possibly a few small injuries stopped from playing their best tennis, but I'm very pleased and very excited about this victory. Thank you.
Thank you, Rod, and thank you, Alistair, for the kind remarks you had to say. I would merely like to thank the spectators for the enthusiastic support they've given the tournament. That's a very, very important ingredient for all their patience, too. I'd like to introduce now to award the checks and the other prizes, Mr. Charles Tucker, the president of the West Side Club, who also has made a very important contribution to the success of this tournament. Mr. Charles Tucker.
Thank you, Joe Coleman. And now if Tony Roach would please come up. I got a little something for him. Tony, I want to congratulate you on playing the world's greatest player. You put up a tremendous match. I apologize for the underfooting out here, but we turned the weather over to a man who wasn't quite expert enough to handle it this year, and we're going to try to do better next year. I have a little pocket money for you here in the amount of $8,000, and I also have a little bill clip for you to keep your pocket money in. Please don't lose it before you get home. Tony, if you'd say a few words, I'm sure everybody would like to hear from you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Rod on winning his second Grand Slam. He's a great player and he certainly deserves it. I'd also like to thank the tournament organisers and the referee for staging a wonderful tournament. They had a lot, the weather was against them, and this put us a little bit behind, but they've done a wonderful job. And I'd just like to take this opportunity here to wish Rod, who I'm sure is, his wife is expecting a baby any minute, and I think that $16,000 ought to hurry things along. And I'd just like to wish them both the very best of luck in the future. Thank you.